Hi everyone, a very pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be.
How's everyone doing? Thanks for checking out True Blue Bobbleheads. We're the True Blue Bobblehead crew. I'm Turbo.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Big Worm.
And today we're going to talk about number 5, Nomar Garciaparra Bobblehead.
Alright, so the Dodgers played the Giants on April 26, 2007. That day they lost with a score of 4-5. Big Worm, let's talk about the box.
Alright, man. So the box here, as you can see, once he's hit the ball, it looks like he's kind of running to first base there. On the side here, it does have a couple facts about Nomar Garciaparra. On the back, another pose of him swinging in his stride. And on the other side here, just a couple more facts about him. And then on the top, it's actually got a picture of the bobblehead.
Great.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the rating. We did change our ratings up a little bit. Instead of doing individual ratings, we're going to go ahead and give it one rating for the whole group, for the whole crew. It's still going to be a scale of 1 to 5. We're going to start off this bobblehead with a 1, so every bobblehead's going to start with a 1. And then depending on the different categories we have, it can earn up to 5. So let's go ahead and start with the likeness.
Alright, so let's start with the likeness. This category I'm going to be talking about. The likeness of this bobblehead is actually pretty cool. I think it's pretty dead on. When I talk about likeness, I'm talking about, the facial features. Does it really look like Nomar Garciaparra? The bone structure in his face, the facial hair that they have on him as well. I think when you look at him from afar or from, up close, it does look like Nomar Garciaparra. So I would very well rate this category a number 1.
Alrighty, so for the next category, we're going to go ahead and talk about the detail of the bobblehead. Now, if you look at the base of the bobblehead, it does say Nomar Garciaparra, his name, of course. Now, on the back of the base, it does say NL Comeback Player of the Year. Okay, now this bobblehead does show Nomar Garciaparra at home plate. Now this bobblehead is actually very detailed with a lot of features that Nomar had. An example would be this armband. This armband, which he used to put in his elbow area, he used to always wear the red one on his right hand side. And if you look on the opposite side, he always had the black wristband on his wrist, of course. Okay, so that's very detailed as far as how he used to wear his armband and wristband. And his batting gloves are pretty dead on to what he actually wore when he played. They were white gloves with this little red detail right here. Usually have the brand or the logo of the company he was wearing. As you can see, it does show Nomar in his iconic Dodger uniform with, of course, the number 5, Nomar Garciaparra. It has the Dodger logo on the sleeve, and also it has Garciaparra on his back with the number 5 on the back of his jersey as well as on his helmet. And it also shows his batting gloves, which is a nice little detail that a lot of people probably wouldn't even notice. So that's the detail of this bobblehead, and I think as a group, we rate this category of detail, we give it a 1.
Yeah, so the next category that we're going to talk about is the pose. Now, is this a pose that Nomar Garciaparra would do? Yes, it is. However, it just kind of looks more like a generic pose. It looks like he's standing more straight up. When he does swing the bat, as a lot of you may know, he has a bigger stride. Like, for example, like when he puts his arm back, it's a little bit further back. So it is a little bit generic. You might say, yeah, but it is a bobblehead. We understand that is, something that they have so much space that they can work with to make these bobbleheads. However, it is a generic pose. Like I said, it looks like he's just standing straight up. So for this category, we're actually not going to give it a point for that one.
Okay,
Great.
So that one doesn't have a point. So I guess now our next category is standout. Now basically what that's going to say, is this a standout bobblehead? For me, the standout part of the bobblehead is the fact that it is Nomar Garciaparra. Other than that, I mean, it's a pretty generic pose, a pretty generic bobblehead. It's a great addition for anybody. What's your guys' input?
What I gotta say about being a standout, like I said, it wouldn't be a standout in my collection of bobbleheads. It would really get lost within the rest. But being a standout is pretty cool. It's Nomar Garciaparra. He's a local boy from Los Angeles, homegrown. Went to Don Bosco Tech High School. Then being able to play for the Dodgers. Being able to live in Los Angeles as well. All your family gets to go to the games. All your friends. It's a pretty cool thing. But that's a standout in the sense, him being here. But it's a bobblehead. It's pretty cool. But I think we all kind of agree,
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and give it a half a point. on that one.
Okay, so with all those categories combined, we give this bobblehead an overall score of a 3.5. So this is the rating for this bobblehead. The Nomar Garciaparra bobblehead is a 3.5. And before we go out, I just wanted to go ahead and tell you guys a little story real quick. I actually had the opportunity to meet Nomar Garciaparra. He was one of my favorite players. If you remember, a few years ago, they had an event called Garden Salad Sunday, where it was a fundraiser, where all the proceeds went to that, and you got to get an autographed picture, you got to meet with Nomar, you got to eat food with him. I was so nervous when I got to meet him. I shook his hand and I told him, I really appreciate you. So that was my great. Nomar Garciaparra moment. So if I could ever meet him again, I'll probably be able to say a little bit more, but I'll never forget that story. At least he knows I really appreciate him.
Exactly. You were starstruck.
All right, guys, before we head out, we are on social media, so if you want to check us out at a few places.
You can check us out on Facebook at True Blue Bobbleheads or on Instagram at True_Bobbleheads_.
True_Blue_Bobbleheads.
My bad.
And then you can also find us on Twitter, True Blue Crew 2, and on Snapchat, True Blue Crew 23.
There you go.
Okay, guys. Well, thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
Stay true.
Oh, yeah. Stay blue.
We're the True Blue Bobblehead Crew.